Hey there, welcome back once again. Um, Tonight I'm asking the question, are you inspired? And if you are inspired, are you inspired always? Are you inspired sometimes? And where does that inspiration come from? What inspires you? This has been a question asked by numerous people at numerous different times and places throughout history. Let's think of some people who were inspired. Gandhi, um, Hitler, and when I say inspired, I don't mean just inspired to save the world, but inspired to change the world, be it for good or bad. Okay, so let's look at those. We have Socrates, we have Freud, we have Da Vinci, we have even biblical historical figures. We have Jesus, we have Moses, Abraham, Isaac. All of these people play a detrimental part in somebody else's life. But to what extent? Is it just one thing that they've said that has changed somebody's life? Or is it the accumulation of many things that have been said and devoted and committed to memory over time? Ah, where where does it come from? Where do we get it? What inspires you? I've been inspired by many people. Um, and not always in good situations. The inspiration for me comes from a lot of bad situations because I I've had a lot of bad situations in my life, and so I'm able to compare it to the good situations that I have in my life. So I have a basis for comparison, and I can see that those bad situations have inspired me to create good situations. And to me, that's a very heartwarming feeling, knowing that I can make something good out of something that was not so great. For example, my father, his his uh his father was extremely abusive. I mean abusive to the point of he almost killed him. And my father was very abusive to me. But he wasn't quite to the point his grandfather was. And I know this is not it's not an excuse. I'm not making an excuse for him. It still never should have happened. But I kind of try to understand where it's coming from and why he feels the way that he feels, or felt the way that he felt before he passed away. Um, and not all the times with him were bad. I mean, I can remember, yes, hell yes, there were times that he would punch me, he would kick me, he would push me against a wall, he'd throw something at me. I've been through that. That's life, and how it was for me. But I also remember times in which we would go fishing out at the ponds that we dug together. 3 ponds we dug together, probably 8 feet deep, 50 foot encompassing on each pond. I mean, we hand dug those ponds, and we poured bentonite and silica sand, and we made those ponds from nothing but sheer will and determination. And I remember doing this. I was probably 8.5 or 9, right in there. And I remember asking him. I'd say, Dad, why a pond? We live out in the middle of the desert. Why are we digging a pond? He wanted to plant fish in them, and I said, how are fish gonna live in the desert? And he said, that's the one thing, son, that you'll always have to realize. The moment somebody says you can't do something and you decide it's true, you've let them decide what your limits are. He said, why am I building a pond out here in the desert? Because people don't think it can be done. And I thought about that for a long time, and I thought, wow, that's really cool. I'm helping do something that people didn't believe could be done. And that was very monumental to me, especially at my age. It gave me a reason for deeper thought. And so I'm very grateful for that experience. And several experiences after that. We would sit out there on the, we built a bridge too. And we would sit out there on the bridge and we would fish. in the ponds. You know, we'd cut the barbs off the hooks so it was catch and release. And we would just sit there and talk. And those were some of the best moments of my life. Moments that I'll always treasure. You know, that was time when it was just him and I. And I miss that. And that inspires me. You know, and I was also inspired by the beatings. Because those inspired me to know just exactly what I will never do to my children. I will never hit my kids. I will never throw them against the wall. I will never kick them or throw something at them. I will be a better father than that. They deserve better. Sorry. You know, moving on the inspiration, other things that have inspired me. Martin Luther King. Medgar Evers was a major inspiration to me. The way that man loved his family, and he fought for his family and for his fellow human beings. I just, even when he was shot and he was dying, he crawled all the way up to his front door, and his only concern at that point was still for the care and well-being of his family. That man is a true inspiration. Martin Luther King, JFK, so many people are just full of life and love and heart. You know, they say life are made up of moments. And it's true. In a moment, it can all be gone. But in a moment, you can gain everything in the world. Let me tell you who inspires me now. My children. And I have a friend, a very dear friend to me, who's overseas. And she's going through a rough time. And her family's going through a rough time. And she's the most beautiful person that I know, inside and out. I think she's just very inspirational because she always has such an upbeat attitude with me. I mean, sometimes you can tell that she's not having the best day and things aren't going just how she'd like them to. But she still has enough heart to get online every night and chat with me. And that inspires me. She makes me want to be a better person. You all make me want to be a better person. You all make me strive to be a better person. And I promise you, I'm growing and learning and continuing on because of how you're coming across to me. You're all just beautiful and wonderful. And I want to tell you all that I appreciate everything that you do. I love you all. I wish you all nothing but the best in life. I hope you gain everything that you want and need. And I hope to be a part of helping you gain those things. I owe you all my life. You're splendid. Don't ever change. Take care of each other. Love each other. Help each other. And as you have mine, continue to touch a life and touch the world. Thank you. Good night.